Alright, so this is an equation written in standard form, right? And how did we change it to slope-intercept form?
X on one side and y by itself on one side.
Okay, we want to get y by itself. So we get rid of the added 2x term by subtracting 2x. And over here we put, instead of 12 minus 2x, we put negative 2x plus 12. Then what do we do with this 3? Divide by 3. Just to remind you what we did on Friday. What's this number in front of the x tell us? Slope. And what's this number out here tell us? Y-intercept. So what's the slope tell us specifically? Rise over run. Like if we graph it, the top number is the rise and the bottom number is the run. Usually if there's a negative, just think of it as on top or bottom. Usually I just put it on top. It's like negative 2 over 3. This tells us the y-intercept where it crosses the y-axis. So today they're going to be giving us stuff to, telling us information about the line, and we're supposed to write an equation for the line that they are describing. A little bit challenging, but once you get the pattern, hopefully it won't be too bad. So they might say like the slope, remember M stood for slope? If the slope is 3/4 and the y-intercept is, whatever, -7. So they might say it's 0, -7. Remember that's how they usually wrote y-intercepts. So the equation would be what? Well, it would just be y equals 3/4 x, put the slope in front of the x, and -7. Okay, unfortunately they're not all that easy. Instead of giving us the y-intercept, a lot of times, here's what's going to happen. They're going to give us a point that the line contains, like, make it kind of easy here. Let's say it's 8, -1. Okay, so how do I write an equation of a line with this slope that goes through this point? Okay, well, here's how you do it. You put the slope where the slope goes. Now, I do not know the y-intercept yet. So you just put a b right here for now. How do I find the y-intercept? Well, you use this point right here. 8, -1. The 8 is the what value? X. And the -1 is the y. So what we can do, if this is a point on the line, that means it's a solution for this equation. That means we should be able to plug this in for x and y, and it works. So 8 goes for the x, and -1 goes for the y. Is Brianna here? I guess not. Huh? Ninth graders, you guys seen her today? Brianna? Yeah, I knew Mallory's gone. Mallory and Brianna. Okay, and then once you plug x and y in, you got an equation that you can solve to figure out what b is. So 3/4 times 8, do you guys know what that is? It is a 6, yes. 3 times 2. And then how do I solve this for b? 6 plus b, how do I get rid of 6? -6. So b is -7. That's not my answer exactly. My answer is this equation, y equals 3/4 x. But instead of putting the plus b, you put in the number right there. Okay. So this has 3/4 as a slope and 8, -1 as a point. If you plug in 8, -1 for x and y, it would be a solution. The two sides would be equal. Anyway, x and y are going to stay x and y because there's an infinite number of things x and y can be. So, but the slope and the y-intercept we're going to change. We're going to find out what they are. All right, that'll get us going. If you don't get it yet, it's okay. We've got a lot of practice ahead of us. Number 1. Okay, so we want a slope of -5, and the line needs to go through the point 0, 10. Well, what's special about the point 0, 10?
It's the y-intercept.
0, 10, yeah. If it's 0 something, that means it's on the y-axis. So really, this is the slope, and this is the y-intercept. So the equation is going to be, put the slope in front of the x, and then put plus the y-intercept. So the general way that they write this is y equals mx plus b. The m is the slope, the b is the y-intercept. Okay, number 3. I think 1 through 6 is all kind of the same. Kind of easy peasy. Slope is -1/3, and it's going through the point 0, 3. 0, 3 must be the y-intercept. So y equals -1/3 in front of the x. By the way, the x is not a part of the slope. The slope is just multiplied 2x, but the x value is not part of the slope. Okay, so who can tell me, well, number 5 is a little bit weird. Who can tell me what we'd write for number 5? Yeah, Luke.
M equals 0x plus 7.
Okay, well, you started a little bit wrong. Say it again, try again. Y equals, that's what you said wrong. Go ahead.
0x plus 7?
Yeah, I would accept that. Can we write that simpler though?
Y equals 7.
Yeah, that's the same thing as y equals 7. The 0x doesn't really do anything. So it's a 0 slope. What's that look like on the graph? Horizontal line through y equals 7. Looks something like this. Anyway. Yeah, y equals 7 is the simpler version. Alright, number 7. Okay, write the equation of the line in slope-intercept form. So we got to look at the picture. We did this kind of on the slope lesson. So we need to find the slope and the y-intercept. Do you guys remember how we found the slope on these? Yeah, rise over run. You had to identify a couple points that you can definitely tell what they are in the graph. So what's a couple points that are easy to identify on the graph? 0, -2. It's definitely going through that point. What's another point?
2, 1.
2, 1. Okay, I'm not using graph papers. Might be a little bit messy, but what's the slope between those two? So somebody said rise over run. So how much is it rising? 3. And how much is it running? 2. So the slope is 3 over 2. So, no. We need the slope. That goes in front of the x. And we need the y-intercept. So where is it crossing the y-axis? -2. So that goes out here, -2.
Wait, where did -2 from?
Huh?
Oh.
The number out here is the y-intercept. That means where does it cross the y-axis at? Crosses down 2. So it's a -2 y-intercept. Okay, number 9.
Number 8, since it doesn't have like a set point. Oh, wait a minute.
On number 8, you have to go all the way up to like 4, 1 for one of the points, or -4, 3. And of course 0, 2. Looks like it would work. Okay, number 9. What are a couple points that it definitely crosses through? See, looks like 0, -1. What's another point?
1, 2.
1, 2. Okay, so what's the rise? 3, and what's the run? 1. So the slope is 3, rise 3, run 1. 3 over 1, which is just 3.
Negative 1.
So we're going to put y equals 3x. Yeah, what's the y-intercept?
Negative 1.
-1, down 1. Oh, 10 is tricky. I kind of forgot about it. Yeah, I guess we'll just look at it. 10's tricky because, well, what's the y-intercept on 10?
Negative 1/2.
Yeah. -1/2. So, and if you look at all those points, it's never hitting it like integer. It's always hitting in a weird spot. So, what is the rise and the run right here? Like, I'm just looking at, like, there's a point at 0, -1/2, and there's a point at, like, 1, -1/2. So it's kind of like a messy. So how much is it rising from there?
0.5.
Negative 1.
-1. And how much is it going over right there?
1.
1. So they're kind of weird points, but it's still rise -1 over 1. So the slope is -1. It's not the answer, but it's part of the answer. Okay, number 11. This is where we gotta kind of start using our brains a little bit. You guys thought you already were. Well, okay. Number 11, we're supposed to write the equation. It doesn't tell us the y-intercept. It only tells us the slope. So we're going to be y equals mx plus b. They tell us the slope on number 11 is -3. Okay, but I don't know the y-intercept yet. How am I supposed to find the y-intercept? Well, the other thing they tell us is that the line is supposed to contain the point 2, -5. If 2, -5 is on the line, what that tells me is when the x value is 2, the y value should be -5. I can plug those in and figure out what b has to be. So I'm going to put -5 in for the y and 2 in for the x. And solve it for b. So the first thing you would do is what's -3 times 2?
-6.
-6. Okay, and then how do we solve for b? How do I get rid of a -6?
That's it.
Add a +6. The opposite of adding -6 is adding +6. So that will get rid of that. I get +1 equals b. That's not exactly the answer. It's just part of the answer. The answer is going to be the equation that I had written at the beginning. Y equals -3x. But now instead of putting plus b, we're going to put the b value in there. +1. Well, you'll see it about 7 more times. Hopefully by that time it'll make complete sense. Okay, so 13, we got slope is 5/3. I'm gonna go ahead and write that in there. And the point is -3, -1. That the line contains. Can anybody help me plug this one in? What should I write next?
-3 for x.
-1 for the y times 5/3, and then -3 goes for x. What is 5/3 times -3?
-5.
Yeah. The 3's kind of cancel out, and it's like -1 times 5. So it's, and how do I solve that for b?
+5. So -4.
No, positive 4. Okay, so my equation, the slope was 5/3, and the b value is 4.
Wait, yeah.
Just barely didn't make it on time.
I had a doctor.
Well, I didn't know you had a doctor's appointment. You were missing all the fun. Okay, let's see, what is the slope on this one? -1/4. All right. Who needs picked on? Well, Luke, you already done the last two. Why? What do you think? What should I write here? If I'm using y equals mx plus b, what do I put in for what? What goes in for the y? We'll start at the beginning.
It would be 6,
Yes. What goes for the m?
2, negative
The slope, yeah, they just told us the m. And what goes for the x?
1.
1. And then, I don't know b yet. Okay, 1 times -1/4 is -1/4. How do I solve that for b? Plus 1/4. What is 6 plus 1/4? 6 1/4. You don't really need to do it right now, but do you guys remember how to change a mixed number into an improper?
Multiply by 4 and add 1.
4 times 6 plus 1, yeah. So it's, I kind of think of it like
5 over
that.
4.
Yeah. And if you need to go back, you do 25 divided by 4 is 6 with the remainder of 1. Okay, that's a little bit sidetracked there. So we got y equals, then you put the slope, then you put the y-intercept, the b value. Brianna, we did turn in Friday's assignment.
Already turned it in.
Okay. 17. Something's different about this y-intercept. Do you guys know what it is? Maybe I shouldn't have mentioned it. I should have just gone through normally. Slope is 3/5. Okay. So, I know y equals 3/5 x plus b. Jackson, where's the 0 gonna go? Yep. And the 4 for the y. Well, what's 3/5 times 0? 0. 0 makes everything. So what's b gonna be?
4.
4. So the y-intercept is 4. So y equals 3/5 x plus 4. Okay, what was different about this point?
Because it's
0,
0.
4, that, they're kind of telling us that was the y-intercept is 4, kind of like number 1. So, turns out the y-intercept is 4. That's probably the only time they did that, I imagine. Yep. Okay, 19. This time, they don't tell us the slope and they don't tell us the y-intercept. They're not telling us anything except for 2 points that the line goes through. Maybe 8th graders know this one since you guys just finished Thursday's assignment. How do we find the slope between 2 points?
Find the difference.
Y minus y over x minus x.
Yeah. Did you guys wait till last night to do it? Okay.
No, I wasn't smiling.
Y minus y, I guess you still remembered. That's what matters. Y minus y over x minus x. So, does it matter which way I go, 2 minus 9 or 9 minus 2? No, as long as you go the same direction with the x values. So if you do 9 minus 2, you'll get a positive value, which might be a little less confusing, but the bottom is still negative. The bottom is going to be negative 3 minus 4. So it's 7 over negative 7, which equals negative 1. Okay, now I know the slope of the line. How do I find the y-intercept? Okay, well, it's what we were just doing. So, you just plug in one of these points in for x and y.
Doesn't matter which one.
Should it matter which one? No. I could do the work and show you that you get the same answer both ways, but no, both of these are on the line, so both of these should be solutions. So anyway, they should both give you the same answer for B, if you plug them in. Now, which one looks probably easier to plug in?
4, 2.
Probably 4, 2, because there's not a negative. So, 2 is going to go in for the y, 4 in for the x. Negative 1 times 4 is negative 4. Okay, so instead of putting y equals negative 1x, I'm just going to put y equals negative x. And then I got 6 for b, so plus 6. All right, 21, 1, 4, and 0, 0. Well, 0, 0 is going to be easy to plug in. Okay, slope. How do I find the slope?
Y Y minus
y minus y. So 4 minus 0. 0 is kind of just make everything easy. 4 minus 0 over 1 minus 0. So the slope is 4. You guys know what the y-intercept is yet? Well, let's find out. If I plug in 0 for x and 0 for y, and you could do 1 and 4 also, it should work. But what is b going to be? 0 equals 0 plus b, therefore b must be 0. Right? Because this is like the y-intercept when it says 0, 0. That's on the y-axis. Anyway, so the slope is 4, the y-intercept is 0. Do I need to put plus 0 out here? No, I don't need to do that. Y equals 4x. Alright, I want to check maybe number 8 and 12 when you guys get there. Maybe I'll check 2 just for fun.